Hello everyone, Mike Rempel from Excel Bytes with today's Excel Bytes blog post. Today we're going to take a look at two new functions that Excel just introduced, and they're two of several, but we're only going to look at two of them, called TOCOL and TOROW. So let's see how those work in Excel. So about 8 years ago, and it's hard to believe I've been doing this for 8 years, it was February of 2014, I did a tutorial on how to convert a data range like the one I have here into a single column. And it took 6 different functions to do that, and you can see the complexity of the formula in the formula bar. Well, 8 years later, Excel has come out with two new functions that make this extremely easy. So here's my data range. So in cell A1, I'm going to type equals TOCOL. And you can see there's 3 arguments: the array, ignore, and scan by column. So the first thing I'm going to do is highlight my array. I'll close my parentheses, hit enter, and notice it took that entire range and converted it into one single column. That simply. Now, if I happen to have some blanks in my data range, I'll delete, say, these two. Notice it enters a 0. However, that second argument that we looked at, if I hit a comma here to ignore, if I enter a 0 or leave it blank, that keeps all the values by default. But if I enter a 1, it will ignore blanks, a 2 ignore errors, or 3 ignore blanks and errors. In this case, I only have blanks. I'll enter a 1, and notice it just collapsed that list down to eliminate where those blanks were. Also notice it is taking each row and stacking it into that vertical column. But if you'd rather have the columns stacked on one another, that would be the third argument. So if I put a comma here, false or blank takes individual rows and stacks them up. But if I put a 1 or a true in there, notice now it'll take individual columns, A, B, B, C, C, etc., and converts those into one single column. And the TOROW function works equally as well. Equals TOROW. If I select my array here, close my parentheses and hit enter, it took that range and converted it into one single row. Notice in AB1 and AH1 we have those zeros because of the blanks, so I have the same option here, comma 1, and it just collapsed that down to eliminate or ignore those blanks. And also, if I want to change the direction or the way that Excel is combining those rows into one row, I can enter a 1 for true, hit enter, and notice again it's taking the columns and converting those into one long row. And that's how you can do that in Excel. So thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so at my website, excel-bytes.com, or at any of the social networks noted below. Thanks a lot, have a great day, and happy excelling.